What's up, horror fiends? That's right, it's your boy Ricky Grimes, and you are watching Three Corners of Horror. Today we got a double quarter pounder with cheese. Instead, our boy JR is out picking pumpkins for the family, so he ain't here tonight. But today it's me and it's Joe. This is Horror Fiend TV, baby. What's up, Joe? How are you, sir?
I am good. I'm good. I'm so glad we're doing this movie. I
Yeah,
know I know I know we're reviewing new stuff, but
it's
it's
Halloween
it's a,
season.
it's a, it's yeah, it's October. And
October.
instead of doing Halloween or just the typical ones, let's talk about one of the newest cult favorites.
Absolutely. And if you like Halloween, horror, cult favorites, or just gore in general, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We highly, really appreciate that. And with that being said, Joe, we're talking about everyone's favorite Birdlack Sap killer, and no, not Jason. What are we talking about today, sir?
It's based on the folklore Sam Hain. So Sam is Sam Hain. That's the like that I think it's the Halloween demon or whatever it is, but that's part of the folklore for Halloween. So that's where Sam came from.
Good shout, good shout. I like that. And where's Sam from? That's right. We're talking about Trick or Treat. This is an older film, like Joe mentioned earlier. We normally talk about newer films, or films within the last few years. But this, since it is Halloween season, we're gonna be talking about Trick or Treat, probably one of my favorite anthology films. And what
Mine
makes
too.
this film really stand out is it's, man, we're gonna get into it, but it's just so freaking unique the way it was shot, cut, edited, put together. Not 1 second of this film is wasted because everything somehow means something.
Yeah.
And I did mention this Halloween season, and every individual that loves horror has their own tradition of Halloween. What they watch, what they do, what they prepare before they watch their Halloween movies. Now, in my opinion, this is a recommended Halloween viewing. Just like, Halloween, the Michael Myers franchise, I think Trick or Treat, maybe not, obviously, I'm not putting it on the same pedestal, but I
I'd
think it
put it up there.
deserves its own ledge on like a tradition to watch on Halloween. And I believe I would call it Halloween essential. How about you?
Me too. Totally agree. I found this movie. So first of all, when it came out, it bombed. It wasn't a big hit because
Yeah.
not many people were talking about it.
Mhm.
It became a cult following once people started either getting it on DVD for all us older people. Now you can stream it. I had to rent it, but
Bro, I still got the DVD, bro.
you have the DVD. I can't believe I don't have this one actually. So
Oh, you don't
I'm
have
gonna
this
add it.
one?
I'm gonna add it because
Yeah.
I literally reshuffled all my stuff and yeah, I don't have it. And I'm upset because I would not I was trying to watch it in the living room and in here at the same time. So I had to rent it in one room and watch it, bootlegged in the other one. But anyway, um, yeah, no, this is something that you should add to your Halloween repertoire.
100%.
I so for me it's Halloween, obviously, Hocus Pocus, and Trick or Treat.
Oh,
That is
wow.
that is my trilogy of Halloween.
Can't argue with that. Hocus Pocus. Oh my god, sandwich in between Halloween and Trick or Treat. That's perfect, bro.
That is my trilogy.
Yeah.
This is my trilogy now.
Yep. I would agree with you with that. It's up there, man. This film is so much fun. Going back and watching it again and reliving it once again. I'm a big fan of the series. Now, what I mentioned earlier, it's an anthology film, but most anthology films kind of, it's like VHS, to use it as an example. It's pretty much short stories proceeded by another short story. All right. And this one, it didn't do that. Right off the jump, you see like all the main characters that are in these stories kind of right at the very beginning intervene,
Yep.
and it comes back later and you see it again, but it's zigzags. It's not short story, short story, short story. It's zigzagging all across these multiple timelines, and everything by the end just wraps up beautifully on that. And again, but there's still segments because the cool thing about it is they still find a way to make the stories unique from each other and separate it, but still makes sense within the context of the story that they're telling. Now, Joe, as far as segments are concerned, characters, whatever you want to, however you want to label it, what was your favorite story segment in this film?
All right, so mine is Dylan Baker's segment. That segment is a perfect combination of horror and gore horror. So it's not just like cheesy horror, gore horror, and
film, yeah,
black comedy.
yeah.
You know, when his son starts yelling out the window as he's trying to bury him.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was another body in there, right?
The little boy's body was in there.
And then the other boy, there's someone else already in there.
There was another body in there. I don't know if it's from the year before or if there's more than one that they do. But then you have the dog that's barking at the window at the under the fence, and he like takes the finger off and throws it at him. I mean, this segment,
Dylan Baker killed it.
Oh, he did. I love him. He can play creepy so perfectly. I mean, if anybody ever saw Happiness, that's a really twisted movie that he did that's very underrated, but it's only because of the character he played. But yeah, no, my favorite segment is him. It is just watching his character, you know, killing someone, going through this whole burying him, his son. Yeah, I love it. I had Christine and Adam watch it. They kind of laughed and they were like, "Oh my God." So it was like a double, like they didn't know how to feel because they wanted to laugh, but at the same time, the gore in it, or the fact that a child was getting killed, which I guess I found out he's from Bad Santa. So that kind of affected Christina a little bit. Yeah, that I guess he's the little kid from Bad Santa.
Oh, the little kid he poisoned.
Yeah,
I hated that guy. I didn't want him killed, but like, come on, man. He's now that you bring him up, it's the one thing I forgot to mention was this film follows the traditional rules of Halloween, and if you break those rules, Sam is going to fuck you.
Yep.
And of course, that kid was smashing pumpkins and not even like respecting Halloween whatsoever. So you know, Sam let that go down. And if you notice, all the characters like in the first killed, it was the guy from Battlestar Galactica. I forgot his name.
No, it was the girlfriend or the wife, the one that was dressed as a robot.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the couple.
Her
name was Emma. I forgot his name. Henry, I think it was. And yeah, of course, she's saying, let's keep the decorations up. And she's like, no, we're taking them down now before, you know. And that's a big no-no. You can't do that. It's got to wait for Halloween to be officially over. She took the decorations down, and Sam just fucked her up.
Yep.
So I like that. It does bring in a lot of Halloween like elements into the film. And if you go back and look at all the rules that are broken, and everyone that was killed in this movie, it's because they broke Halloween rules.
Yep.
And the people who survived, like I'm gonna say the girl, what was the name? Rhonda, the little girl
with the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a victim of a prank, and she loved Halloween with all the pumpkins and stuff. And Sam let her just walk away scot-free. So little things like that. That's not really like. It's more of story visually than telling you. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't notice that on first watch
no,
either.
Exactly.
It involves you watching this movie. It was my truthfully fourth watch before I figured out that Sam Hain was punishing the ones that did not respect Halloween.
Yeah, and they don't
four watches.
They don't beat you over the head with it.
No,
you need to watch and pay attention to pick up on these things. You know, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I dig that.
Yeah.
My favorite segment for me, Anna Paquin's character, who was Little Red Riding Hood, right? Her friends all dress up as sexified Disney princesses. We know how this turns out. So, like, I think their whole story, because there was all about getting her. You think they want her to lose her virginity, her first time, and that's not what it is at all. It's her first kill because they're a pack of werewolves. And I think I'm not gonna get into too much right now. We'll save that for later. But I think that's overall that little story bit. That's my favorite. Aside from the stuff with Sam, I love Sam. Now going hand in hand what I just said with Anna Paquin's character, my favorite scene in this film was when we see, you know, Anna Paquin and her friends when we see them in action. Now, what's great about this is Dylan Baker's character played a second role essentially as this mysterious stranger lurking the alleyways, hunting women as a vampire. And this motherfucker had like fake Rite Aid teeth. You know,
Yeah, it was terrible.
it was horrible. He was a fraud, and he paid for it. And the best thing about it was they played Marilyn Manson's "Sweet Dreams," their cover version of that song.
Love that song.
Holy shit! That track to that scene when they turn into the werewolves, and you mentioned it earlier. It's like a family film in a sense visually, but it's not because the way they transfer to the wolves, not the best I'm saying, but pretty damn cool.
It was.
What say you, sir?
No, I
Like
love that scene. Actually, that was a good scene. That's actually my second
There you go.
favorite scene, to
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing about this film. Like your scene that you picked, it could easily have been my favorite. 'Cause I love Dylan Baker's like just his levels in his film. He's like it's great. It's just fun watching him, especially
Yeah.
like when he gets it. Like
well, now that you mentioned that my favorite scene is when he's burying the body.
yeah,
He's
that's
burying
fun
the body, and it sounds like Dad starts yelling, and he's like, "Shh." But yeah, no, I thought it was great because the way it first played out, it looked as if the son was interrupting him, and he was trying to hide it from his son.
Yeah.
And then later on, son comes down, and he's like, "All right, I'm ready to carve," and they go to the basement. And it kind of looks like Dylan's just tired of his son who just completely interrupted him killing somebody and, the whole pleasure. But it turns out he was getting the fucking head to carve. What was great, we got to the scene where it was actually the son knew all along. He wasn't even interrupting the dad. But actually, you know what? He was interrupting him in a way of he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is even more obnoxious if you think about it.
Even if he knew the fact that he's interrupting him and calling attention to what he's doing.
Right, but the thing is, if he had not known, because we all thought he didn't know.
Yeah.
So he was obnoxious then.
Yeah.
So knowing that he did know what he was doing elevates the obnoxiousness and the kid interrupting him at that moment.
So that's your favorite scene?
I love that scene. The black comedy.
Yes. Dude, black comedy is a good way to put it. This film, again, it looks like a family film, like a Halloween family film on paper, right? A fun character, it's goofy at times, but the fact that the kids are poisoned in this film, kids are murdered, and I hate kids being killed on film, except for this movie, because the way they did it, again, black comedy in a way where, like, okay, it makes sense within the context of what we are watching. And, oh, man, this film, the gore was great. Sam was great. There's one thing that bugged me, and I'll bring it up later, but this film is so much fun. So, as you guys can tell, I love this film. I'm a big Trick or Treat fan. I'm a collector of horror, obviously, and I do collect Funko Pops. I got all the Trick or Treat Funko Pops. They're in storage, but this guy, brand new, just came out. Now, I didn't talk about this scene, and neither did you, but the scene with the bus, Chuckles.
Oh my God, that's
Chuckles.
A terrible scene.
I know. I hope they make every single kid on that bus, because here he is, right? You can see him. Now, I did not open this guy. This guy is not getting. I'm not taking him out. He's staying here. I gotta get a protector for it. Oh my God! If they release all the children from that bus as Funko Pops, bro, take my money.
Actually, I ended up stopping the movie at that scene with Adam and Christine.
Scene.
They were like, "Okay, or no, we can't." And I'm like, "Really, right now?" But yeah, it's a great scene. I love that scene.
Oh, I loved it. And they played a good. They played. That was probably the funny part. That's probably my least favorite storyline.
But it's a good story.
But it's still good. It's
the story, because what it sets up
is
a good part. That's the whole thing, though. It's a setup for that part.
Now, going back to what you said, like watching it, I didn't catch that initially the first time. Did you believe that?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I just when I saw it again, like, oh, Krieg was the bus driver. How the fuck did I must have been high as hell when I first saw this shit. But, all right, man. Closing thoughts. What else can I say? I mean, I love the film. I believe it's a staple of Halloween. And I think as the years go on, Sam, as a character and a Halloween movie maniac, is getting more and more traction. He's getting up there. Sam is getting up there. I think it's such a cool character. Now, what I didn't like when he took his mask off, because I think not bad by design, but he looked kind of goofy. Like I know he's made.
Well,
I love that he's made out of pumpkin. That's amazing. He's made out of pumpkin. But I don't know, man. His face it looked too much like a rubber mask, and for my taste.
But
you know
considering that you are the fan of practical effects,
yes, I know.
You realize you're saying that.
But you don't understand.
That was practical.
But yeah, it was practical, but it looked like
a rubber
mask.
I agree with you.
It looked like a rubber mask. Like the masks that were on that bus looked better than the mask that he was wearing. I don't know. But it's very small nitpick. I have the Funko Pop with him with that fucking orange head. So I'm being hypocritical right now, but it's a little nitpick. But I love the film.
For me, this movie has become year after year. I keep watching it. I just grow more appreciation for it. And literally tonight when I was watching it with Adam and Christine, there was a scene where the girls were walking and they bumped into the first couple.
Dude, it keeps happening.
Really small. You start noticing it. I love a movie that there's so many little nuances that you just keep picking up as you keep watching it. That's how a movie retains, just keep growing. Everything, so this is a new one for me. It's my number 3 for Halloween. Michael Dougherty, who wrote this movie, he is going to be writing the Hellraiser series. I would give this movie, and I know that I'm in the Halloween spirit already. I'm
Halloween all year round for me, brother.
I would put this at and I'm gonna go on an off number of 4.8.
4.8.
4.8. That's how good I find this movie. It doesn't get to 5, but it's so close. We'll see in the next 10 years how close it gets there.
I gotta bring this up. I hate animals getting killed in movies, and there was 2 of them in this one. They were off screen, which I appreciate. But when Sam went to, he knocked on Dylan Baker's character. He knocked on his door first, and Sam was there with a little bag, and in his bag and his little sack there was a cat inside. You could hear the cat meow meow.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, I'm gonna watch it again.
Go watch it. So you see Dylan Baker's character. Oh God, I'm sorry for his character name escapes me, but he heard it.
Steven.
Was it
Steven?
And I was like, oh my God, Sam's got a cat in the bag. He's gonna eat the cat though. But they didn't go. But it was subtle, which that was pretty cool. This God dog, you know what, bro? I am so inclined right now to just making this a 5.
I know you are. I'm almost there. I was hoping that when we talked about this, that you
talking about it's making me going in was 4.5, but talking about it is making me regret that because again, aside from Sam's goofy rubber mask,
I was hoping in talking this that you
were no flaws.
My 5 sometimes come from talking to you on some of the stuff that you bring up even more to elevate what I thought. So that's why I'm like, when we talked, I'm like 4.8. I'm like, fucking Rick.
You know what?
My 5
because it's Halloween season. I'm switching it. This is a 5.
It's a 5. It's a 5 for me.
There's other than the rubber mask.
It's a 5 for me.
It's not a long film. Perfect run time. No filler whatsoever. Because like I said, you mentioned it earlier. If you keep watching the background, they keep running into key players all over the place. Like the couple from the beginning, I think it was Henry and Emma. I think that's their name. Sorry if I got that wrong, but the couple, they show up all over the fucking place.
They do.
All over
everywhere.
So it's great. It's great. I love the way it zigzags, and you don't know what part of the timeline you're in. But I loved it. Brian Cox's character again, he was a dick. It's a great
story, but we don't have to talk about everything on here. If you didn't see this movie, that part, you know what it reminds me of? It was a throwback to and I should remember the name, with Karen Black and the little demon
Trilogy of Terror.
So that's what it reminded me of. Was that with Brian Cox fighting Sam Hain was the Trilogy of Terror. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, that was such a cool fight.
It was.
All
right.
Yep.
So see, I told you I was waiting because I'm like, this movie is like.
But you know what is talking about it? I thought about it. There's no flaws, man. I mean, I love it.
No.
Watching it again,
and you can keep watching it over and over, and you still pick up on shit.
Yeah, awesome. Joe, anything else you want to add before we wrap this up, sir?
Nope, that's it, man. Awesome movie.
Awesome movie. Thank you for joining us on this special episode. Next week, JR will be back. I am Ricky Grimes. I'm here with the psychologist Joe. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we got lots of cool shit coming your way. I think you're gonna like most of it. if not all. Look at my boy Joe. Joe, what's my word, Joe?
Stay scared.